Good morning and welcome back to another episode of the Coin King channel. I am your host, Down to Crypto TA. I just want to start with an apology because I am having a couple of technical issues already this morning, and that probably will continue throughout the stream. So I'm going to try not to keep the stream very long and just get down to the facts of what's taking place right now with Bitcoin. I also am going to take a look at gold as well. But Bitcoin, as you can see, we took a short yesterday. That short has been playing out very well. So anyone who attended the stream yesterday, and we actually, it was at the start of the stream, the other people were also able to get in on this short position that we took from the golden pocket, which also had a resistance area lined across the top here. So a nice little payout for everyone who attended the stream yesterday morning. I don't really see a situation right now where another short would be on the table. So what I would have to look for in this case is going to have to be a long position. If that comes about, there are a lot of reasons right now why I'm not really favoring the longs, but we'll see if that doesn't take place down here. So something that we were looking at here, and I'm already again. I do apologize um, for the situation with the stream. Okay, so yesterday I highlighted. Okay, well I'm just gonna take this trend line, drop it here, and put it into a parallel for in case price action comes down here, it doesn't hit the 786, and instead it front runs to 786. So right now that's what we have for what I put in here yesterday when I added this line right here to make this into a channel for price to drop down and get a bounce around this trend line here. It seems to be holding okay right now, but there's just so much about this that I'm really, really, really not liking at all. I actually chose not to entertain the shorts yesterday as we continue to fall. I mean, the longs as we continue to fall further. I did, however, just enter into a long position just to give it a chance. Just to give it a chance. Now, 15-minute time frame looks like it could try to push a little bit more, but nothing is really following through. Um, 1 hour looks like it's getting to a place to where it's starting to clean up on the charts a little bit more. Whatever happens in here looks very temporary. In the 4 hour time frame, um, starting to look a little bit better, but still, um, it still looks like trash. Daily time frame. What I was looking at on the daily time frame, it just fell to pieces. And then there's the weekly also. So 4 hour, you can see that trend line there. Um, Daily time frame, recall that we have it inside this larger parallel channel in here. So we could actually, in fact, I mean, come down about 54, something like that, and still respect this channel if that were to happen. And here, right here, you're going to see this is our Bollinger Band. So what I did yesterday was I put in my infamous little lines in here to just kind of highlight what a Bollinger was sitting at. So you can see how tight all five of these bands are right here. Really your bottom and your top one. You can see how tight we are in here. And then we started to break it. Right at this moment right here, after yesterday's close, we broke the standard deviation to the downside. So we could start to see an expansion. It's not showing that at the moment, but we could start to see an expansion. And you know how that's going to go. It's going to be a rapid drop to the downside if we do start to see an expansion. So very taking a loan requires some great risk management here right now. I'm going to take away, well, actually, you know what? I'll leave them there so we can just kind of see what the difference is with it now. I'm just going to put the Bollinger Bands on here. All right, so you can see how we broke yesterday when candle closed, I took the liberty of dropping the lines in here, and you can see how this one actually turned down. Price broke through it, so we're trading outside of the Bollinger Band right now. Standard deviation 2, no expansion just yet because this is still pointing downwards instead of pivoting up. But you can see how it bounced away from that trend line right there, so it could actually turn up. So I don't know what's going to take place today. It could again be a rapid sell off from here if we don't reclaim back above. The invalidation is price action pushing back into or just back above that 63, 461. 41, so we'll just say 63, 462. It requires price action pushing back above that price point right there. To invalidate the possibility of price seeing expansion and getting a rapid move further to the downside. So, I mean, I'm not really, yeah. So it'd be just like over here, just like over here, you know. Um, so, and let me just turn the bar candle on so we can actually see again. The dark red that just indicates that we're trading outside of the standard deviation too, and possible expansion could be in progress. So that's the daily time frame. So please do be aware of that situation right here on the daily. As far as the let's see indicators are concerned, I was really hoping that we were gonna like we have the potential for some bullish divergence in here. Don't get that twisted. We do have the potential for some bullish divergence in here, but it doesn't mean that price can't drop down much further before any of that bull dip actually plays out. So the only thing we need right now in this case, because we've invalidated the idea of a bullish divergence taking place from this low right here. This is what I was saying to watch yesterday, was to just keep an eye on this low here, just like that. Because if we're lower, if price action is lower than this line here, and the RSI is above it, then we're representing some sort of bullish divvy. So if I was just clicking on it, it's trying to get this to open up, but you can see it's kind of frozen. There we go. All right. So right now it still implies like it's exaggerated for the most part, but the RSI is still above that pivot. So with the RSI still being above this pivot, that means that we do still have some underlying strength in this price action in this move to the downside. There is still some sort of underlying strength here. It's just not coming through. It is just not coming through. But if the RSI does drop below this low, then our focus has to come down towards this low here. That means the RSI stays above this low here, but price action, as we're hovering around it right now, would need to maintain. Would need to close below this point. So that means that we can still come further in order to validate any sort of bullish divergence from this point. Price action would have to close below that 63,190. I'm sorry, 62,909. So price action would have to close below that point in order to validate any sort of bullish divergence. So the downside may not be over. The best thing that can happen right now is that was the low and price action bounces back up above here. I mean, even if we drop below it, we could still leave a wick behind, but we still have like 12 hours, nearly 13 hours left to validate any of this. 13 hours is a long time. A lot can happen in 13 hours. We can nuke and reclaim real quick. Like anything can happen in these 13 hours. So, that's where we are on that. I just know at this point, if we were to attempt to turn up from here, we would have to see like that Bollinger. It would have to invalidate the possibility of an expansion to the downside and get an impulsive pump to the upside. It would have to be a speedy bounce, because if it's not, then we're just going to put in another bear div trying to get the move up. And you can already see how we put in 3 bear divs on the attempted move to the upside with these lower highs. So bear div with the lower highs. That's all we were getting at this point. That's it. We would have to get a speedy move in order to to outplay the possibility of creating another bear div. I was hoping that that happened. Um, I was hoping that we maintained above that Bollinger. I really was. I was really hoping that we maintained above that Bollinger, and then we just saw that impulsive move up. That was the hopium. That was the hopium. But anyway, moving past that, let's take a look here at the weekly time frame. So I was just covering the RSI here on the weekly right before coming on stream. So we're back at the point yesterday. Let me see. Let me maximize the pane here. Take a look at this. All right. So we're back at the point where we saw our the last bounce to the upside from the RSI took place right here. So the RSI is currently sitting at this point right here. We got days on this, so I don't know how useful it is to talk about it, but we do have days on this. So what can happen right in here is we don't deviate too far from where we are right now. We don't deviate too far from where we are right now, and then you'll look um, for the RSI to do something like that where it breaks down below it, and then once you see the reclaim back above, then we're starting to shift on the weekly time frame because we have a relatively low RSI. This just indicates the weakness in price action, basic momentum. So very very weak momentum right now as we're sitting at a 25.57. I don't think that this weekly um yeah, this weekly has never it's never really gone below this point. Below, I set mine for 20. We've never gone below that. And this was, let me see, where were we at here? Yeah, this is about where it turns around at. This is about where price action turns around at. It's about where price action turns around at. But yeah, we're at some sort of an end state where we will see some sort of bounce out of price action. It's just been complete chaos, and I mean that's what happens in a bear market. But on that situation, it's sort of like right here. How it drops down and then it reclaims back above just like that, and then that'll be your point to look for that to be the end of this selling pressure. So if you see here, but we did put in some bullish divergence when we got that move up too. So right here we will start to see some sort of recovery right through here. At least you can see that we got some sort of a recovery in here, even though we did drop back down and put in some bullish divergence there. That's basically what we're going to have to look for in here. That's basically it. I mean, I wish I had something better to say, and unfortunately I do not. That is the best that I can do right now. All right, so I'm going to shift on over to the weekly time frame. I mean, not the weekly, but the 15-minute time frame. All right. So this is the point right here where I was just like, you know what, forget it. I'm not even interested anymore. We dropped back down and we tested on this descending channel that we had at one point. We hit that again. Remember yesterday I shared with you that I took a long off of this right here, rolled it up, and I actually did not I didn't take the profits on this move to the upside right here. We entered the short position. Well, I entered the short. I think we entered this short position right here. We entered this short position, and I guess that's where my money's gonna come from because I've been sports trading here, catching bottoms and catching tops, and not really taking the profit because we've just been sideways. We've just been sideways, and really, I don't know. I'm just trying to catch the big fish, I guess. And we've basically just been sideways. So when we hit it yesterday, I entered on this, and then something in my heart was just like, cut it. And I was tired too. So it's like, just cut it. Because chances are it's not gonna work. And thank goodness I did. I woke up and then I saw us continuing to roll over, and yeah, yeah. But I took this long off of this candle right here, just because it kept bouncing around right here. So I was like, just go ahead and take it, and let's just see if it does anything. But there'll be some people this morning who really want to get into that 786. So we'll probably go back down there and tap that, and and possibly a little bit lower before we see the actual bounce. But we're getting there. If you wanted to attempt this long, I don't think you're at a bad place right now. You're not at a bad place to do it, but understand that it is a low probability trade. I would set my stop loss for this low here if you do want to enter the long. And right now, that's going to look something like, let's just say where price action is right now, unless you've already entered. I'm dead set on this low. I'm dead set on this low. So it's just a point 50. So it's if you're not trading with a lot of capital, like you can always go back if you feel like this is the place. You can always go back and add to the position, but keep it small right now because if it's going to go, it'll come back and put in a higher low regardless. So keep it cheap. I'm keeping it cheap. I'm truly cheap on this long position right now. I'm really cheap on it. And if it turns out to be a good bet, then I can always add to it. Otherwise, I'm gonna lose very little. Very, very little. Okay. Because I'm keeping it cheap. And what do I think price action would come to? It's gonna get this. It's gonna get this in here. We have this semi-equal high right here. We have this candle right here to the upside. It's gonna take this. If we're gonna get a move to the upside, this is what we're gonna take. That's a good risk to reward right there. That's a strong risk to reward if we're gonna see any sort of a push to the upside. We're gonna take this. So everything in here is going to get eaten up. This will get eaten up. I'm gonna hold on to the short from yesterday. Um, and just use that as a hedge. But otherwise, like I said, it's a very cheap trade for anyone who's interested in, trying to take the long from here. This is what I'd be looking for. Is for this right here to get eaten up. So I'm gonna draw a fib on this. We're gonna see where this lands us at. And again, this isn't, this doesn't come with high hopes. It absolutely does not come with high hopes. And that's exactly what I was thinking. If we're gonna get it, this is what we're gonna eat up. We're gonna grab these shorts right in here. We're gonna take this liquidity right here where we have these semi-equal highs right here, and this wick stands out. This wick absolutely stands out. But definitely, definitely, definitely keep it cheap if you're gonna take it. Keep it cheap. And if for some reason this turns out to be a good trade, then at some point price would come back and put in a higher low. Otherwise, it's a 0.51. It's a 0.51%. But my stop loss is dead on that low. It's dead on this low. Can't guarantee it's gonna work. It's dead on that low. And let me add trend line. Yeah, so you really want to be dead on that low if you're gonna take this. If you're going to take this, let me make sure that trend line is somewhat perfect. I will be perfect patty sometimes. It's freezing on me, so I apologize. I'm just not feeling confident at all. I am so not feeling confident at all. um, with Bitcoin. Or wait, wait, let it come back test this line right here, this ascending line right here. See if we can't get anything from that. Um, we are. Let's see. Let me trap this. Mm, that's usually bearish. I'm gonna rock with it. See what we get. I'm gonna go ahead and stop extending this because we've hold on. No more extension on that. So we can just really see. I just need to pull this out though. So if we'll do this, I mean, it is a bearish pattern. I know it is. It is a bearish pattern. So I will just do this just for the sake of it. 60, that would, it doesn't exactly get us below that low right now. But it would be something like that. Let's just say that we didn't hold in here. Let's just assume we don't hold it and we actually break down from it. Now, if you're somebody that want to take the risk a little later, assuming that it does come down towards this trend line right here, if you see any sort of reaction, then you drop your stop loss below this low right here. Again, I'm taking the attempt on the long right here, but I don't have any strong confidence in it. Like I said, we are outside of standard deviation too on the daily time frame. Possibility for an expansion, which would be a rapid move further to the downside, and we do have a larger channel on that daily time frame as well that I'm watching, and on the weekly actually. I think it's the weekly that I have it on, daily and weekly. Doesn't really matter. That can get tapped in the process. So, I mean, looks like garbage. Looks like garbage. You have a trend regression line through these two tops right here. I'm not really. I mean, if I looked at that, I don't know if there was any sort of a break in this situation right here. Yep, no, not even a break in this trend line right here is taking place just yet. So that's above here. If I'm going to risk it, I'm going to risk it closer to the low. So that way I know I'm out of it. I'm not going to wait for it to break this trend line right here and then make that decision. Now you can, but you want to look at this top right here. You want to look at price action, reclaiming above this high right here. If you wanted to do like a trend line breakout. So you want to see, actually want to see it close above here. So a closure above there without the bearish divergence. And then that's a good place if you wanted to do it like that. I'm just more set on being closer towards a low for an invalidation than being up here. There really isn't, like, whatever direction the market is going to go in. The only strategy that's really going to work is your risk management. That's your strategy. Risk management is your strategy in this case. It's not the trend line break. It's not this little triangle pattern. It's none of that stuff. Risk management is your strategy in this case. That's it. I know that on USDT dominance, we're at that level that I've been mentioning to you for a little while in here, saying that we need to hold here. We want to see USDT dominance pause out right here. We're here. Like we're here. We talked about this since before this happened, and we've stayed on that idea that if USDT dominance gets back into this zone right here, that we want that midpoint of this range to be where it stops at. So we're looking for this to be the stop out place, which means that Bitcoin might have a chance. If this, I mean, it might have a chance from here. Like this is your risk right here. This is your moment for your risk right here. So we're looking for this to hold as the resistance point and respect this point and this point right here. So we're looking for this to do what it did here. These two times. First time it didn't do it. So I said, hey, if it has to come back into this again, then that's going to be what we're looking for. We're here at this point right now, hoping that this is going to hold as resistance. If this is holding as resistance, it's the inverse to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is holding as support. Resistance for USDT dominance is support for Bitcoin. That's what we got to work with right now. Not a lot. Not a lot in terms of wanting to get long. Okay. So that's what we have to work with. We're here. Hoping that this holds as resistance this time. And price does not manage to get through here. Price manages to get through here, then there's a chance that, USDT dominant comes up. I mean, and that would be exactly what I just said to you. Then we would have that expansion from that daily time frame Bollinger Band that could send USDT dominance back up here to the top side of its trend line and Bitcoin to the bottom side of its descending trend line on that channel. And that's likely going to be like that larger golden pocket that we never tapped. Yeah, that's what that's going to be. That larger golden pocket that we never tapped. If that were to happen, and it just looks weak. It just looks weak. But at this point, the only reason why I'm entertaining this again is because I don't see the narrative for wanting to take the short from here. I don't see it. Um, it can still happen, but I don't see it. We get a little push to the upside, then we can talk about the short again, a new short. But right now, I'm not gonna say take the short from the bottom, from the low. Like that's just not my it's not my thing. I don't look to short when I'm at the bottom. When I'm at a place where I'm kind of holding at, I don't recommend shorting from there. You either got a short already or you're looking for a long right here. So my bias right now is to, regardless of how weak it looks, my bias right now is to attempt a long. I'm gonna take a look at gold. Hopefully it doesn't refresh on me again. All right. All right. So gold right now. I think we might have dropped down into like the 20 SMA or something like that. I know that when I was looking at this yesterday, we were trading in between standard deviation 1 and 2 to the upside. So it was showing a little bit more of staying power through here. The pattern formation to me, it still looks a bit bearish in my opinion. I still consider it to be, a bearish pattern formation. We're just not getting the breakdown. We talked about the bearish, formation that was through here, and the idea was that it comes back down probably into this golden pocket and retest this trend line right here. But then we started to build out this pattern right here, and my mindset changed on this pattern right here. I actually posted this pattern before the breakout happened. I posted it on X. Kept it simple. It was, it was just simply me saying, gold. It's that simple. Just showing everybody, hey, probably gonna get this gold breakout right here without, financial advice or anything like that. I wish my system wasn't lagging so bad right now, but it is. Just doing ridiculous things. And actually, not many people really saw this post. No one actually saw this post. But as I could see the pattern start to shift, I threw this one out here. It's probably like one of the lowest views that I've gotten on one of my posts here recently. But this, yeah, I threw this pattern out here, and this was on the 18th of February. I saw this and I'm like, okay, it's probably because when we had not hit the golden pocket yet, we had not done a 786. Like we hadn't got into any of this yet. We failed to do it over here, which doesn't really make sense for gold. And yeah, it's just a simple hashtag gold. I'm looking at this breakout to take place because we'd already broken down from here. It looked like it wanted to expand. It didn't, came up, back tested, and then we started to put in this bullish pattern formation um, right here. We started to still hold here at the resistance, and then suddenly we got the little move out. But this is still trending up. Bollinger Band still turned to the upside on this. And like I said, throughout here, it was staying in the pocket on this move to the upside. So, I mean, we've changed market structure over here. Regardless, it is still higher highs and higher lows at this point. Possibly getting up here into the 786. I'm still feeling like this was a top. However, with political tensions right now, it may not be. It's strong that it's not, and price just continues to go up. You know, so yeah, I said I took the loan right here, gave that loan. Probability was a long probability that was taken. It just happened to work out because everything is probability, right? So until this, I mean, I could look for this to break down. I don't really see like any strong issues in here right now. No, I didn't even. It's still trading around the pocket. So like I said, we were still trading within the pocket in here. I noticed that. So if we do start to break down through here, then then maybe. But yeah, I mean, you're still it still looks healthy right here. Besides the fact that it's really overextended right in here. It was extended right here, and you got a little bit of a pullback, extended there, got a little bit of a pullback. You barely got one there, and it got extended here, and you got a larger pullback. So I know it's extended, and this could be as much as the pullback that we get right here because it is extended. I get the X's when it's really extended. That means the Bollinger was extended, probably some strong extension through here, which it was, but you can see how we even got the break right here. Had the descending trend line down through here and the break there, and we just kind of was dragging our behind about getting the move up, and we're here. So I mean, we're pretty extended. This typically does lead to some sort of a downside targeted move. Doesn't tell you how much price action would go down, but that typically indicates something like that could be on the horizon. Over here, it went sideways for a long time before we ever even saw it do that part. So it can go sideways for a while. It can do that. It can continue to bounce around in here and push up a little bit more. You won't even notice much of a movement in here. You'll see it on price action, but that typically this situation right here indicates it moving to the downside. That's what you typically get out of something like this right here. So I mean, it's healthy right now. That's all I can say about it is that it's rather healthy right now, and probably continue up. Basically getting into that 786. Silver, pretty much the same situation. It looks like here with silver. I haven't really paid a lot of attention to silver, but you can see the same scenario through here with silver, where you can see it got the breakup. I saw this little triangle through here, got the breakup. I was supposed to delete this right here for the measure move on a bear flag, because that did not happen here so far. Again, same thing right here. If it's when I see it like this, I see it like this. I'm typically expecting for some sort of a drop to the downside to take place whenever I see it look like that. And you got it there. You didn't really have one right there. You got it right here, but it wasn't all that much. Wasn't all that much. And it hasn't happened over here, so nothing has confirmed just yet. But I would still continue to be on the lookout for some sort of a move back to the downside. After once we can get up into here and climb above this, then I will delete this bear flag idea. I don't have a reason to invalidate it right now, therefore it's still sitting on the chart. But once we do, I will. It looks like trend regression line has already been broken through here, so some sort of momentum loss is already taking place here on silver. You can see it right here in this state. It took place right here, just hasn't fallen through just yet. See, you had it again. Probably let me do it like this right here. Starters right here, and you can see we got that breakdown right there, but it did not give much, and you can see how it stalled out through here before getting that break to the upside outside the channel right here. Sometimes I don't know, sometimes it's just easier to see things from a indicator perspective than price action perspective, but that's what we got through there in that situation. And yeah, so I mean, it's not really confirming anything just yet. But structurally, it looks bearish. Structurally, it does, but with everything that's happening right now, um, you know, it's a safe haven. It's a safer haven than Bitcoin right now. That is what it is. Okay. Um, really getting into the copper situation over here. We talked about this right here. We had this little setup idea. I'm not in copper trade or anything like that. Still holding up above this ascending trend line through here. Again, formation looks, it looks bear flaggy. I don't really see it not looking, except for gold. Gold looks a little bit stronger than silver and copper. And I would just think that gold gets up here into this 786. As long as it's still holding within its parallel channel and it's not breaking down on this parallel channel, even then, this could be flipped into support at this point. So I don't have a reason to get bearish on gold and just continue to hold my little long position that I have on it. Let's take a look back over here at Bitcoin, just kind of see what we got going on over here since we are entertaining this idea here. All right, so we did get a little bit of a move down. We held the momentum so far because we didn't exactly come back down here and tap into the bottom side of the trend line right here. And now, that's all we got is to just see what happens. There's really nothing more we can do at this point. I do need to update you on. I'm out of the Microsoft trade. I need to update you on that. Now, the last update I gave was it Tuesday or Wednesday? I can't remember which day it was, but it was no, it was Friday. It was Friday. The last update I gave was on Friday concerning Microsoft because I saw a bearish signal, and it was coming from the 6-day time frame. And I said to you that, pretty good chance that it could fall over. I minimized the target for the long setup and identified the invalidation that could be coming into play for Microsoft. And And it just looks bad right now. At least when I last looked at it. Let's see here. Let me see what it's looking like. I know yesterday, after market close, I did see it start that it could potentially be getting some sort of a correction coming in. But let me jump on that. Uh, and it's like, nah, Chico, no Chico, uh, not right now. Okay, so here we go. All right. So with that Microsoft, like I said, I gave you the update and I said, hey, Microsoft got a bearish signal on that 6 day time frame. I haven't seen it since 2011. I think it was 2011. No. I can't remember how long ago it was. I last seen it, probably 2022 or something like that. But I was like, it has a bearish signal on it. I reduced the target for the long setup because it looks like we're going to get that, it's going to be a problem. And I indicated. Now, was it on Friday or was it on Thursday? It was last week. That's all I know. So it hasn't quite invalidated the long setup just yet, but it's getting very close to doing it because I set it um, just below the 786 in here. So it's here, and we're sitting inside the 786 right now. I gave some of the targets that I would be looking for here in terms of Microsoft, but I was stopped out of the trade personally. That was my risk management on it because I'm already leveraged on something else, and it's a small account on BTCC, and yeah, I just can't afford it. And they don't do isolated; they do cross, so I have to cut it. And that was for me. So I didn't. I let it. I waited for it to get below the 786, and that was where I cut it for myself. Because again, the bearish. Once I talked about the bearish setup for it, I didn't have a reason to even want to entertain it. I cut stuff real quick. I would cut it real quick. I was looking at you saw that one white line that was going through here. That could be a thing, but for me personally, I talked about possibly somewhere right in here that it could want to hold in here, but this is what I personally be looking at in here for Microsoft. If it does continue down, if it does lose this area and doesn't manage to hold the 786 pocket that I have right there, then I would just be looking for it to get down into here. I'm gonna call it the silver pocket. All right. So I got that target there, and then the other one is going to be down here at the measured move for the channel breakdown. So it broke this actual ascending channel formation. Right now, we've broken the ascending channel formation. The measured move for the ascending channel is down here. It's down here. Wherever price ends up at that point, this is where it's at. It's down here. Now, this would take a very, very, very long time to play out. Just note that, and anything can happen that can change it, and it can bounce back up. Anything can happen. It took 2 months, I think, for us to get this move right here to this point, because I put out this setup 2 months ago before we even got here. And I say it again, it was like it's going to take a long time for it to get here. Anything can happen before price action gets here. This is the measure move for the head and shoulder. I mean, the double top formation. You got this gap in here. We'll get down here. We're filling the gap. We got the ascending channel through here. So it took a long time for us to even get to this setup for me to already get stopped out of it. So I am pissed off about that. I'm pissed off about that. I waited that long for it to get here to just be a hot mess. And then so many other people started jumping in on you know, big channels posting on this as a probability setup and blah blah blah. And so I know a lot more people started trying to take the long, and we got a push back up into the top side of the gap, and we started to hold the bottom side of the gap, and it just started to look like a hot mess. And I said, okay, 6 day bear signal showing up in the chart. Don't like it. Um, let's see if this is going to come on. I tell you, everything is lagging. I needed to do the reset, and I didn't want to keep anyone waiting that was going to come in for the channel. And I'm gonna jump back on Bitcoin. This is going to be it. I do want to go through the other stuff, but today it's just not a good mood. It's just not a good mood. I mentioned in here, hey, the cloud is rising on the 6 day time frame. I know, this is my indicator. I I know how to read this, and I know that that tends to be a bit more bearish. So whatever we were looking for in here is probably going to get in. It could very well get invalidated as a high probability that it can get invalidated. The last time I saw that happen was right over in here, and this okay, yeah. So it's 2022. I was like, it's 2022. Now this wasn't a larger move to the downside, but it can turn into that because of the situation of everything that's taking place right now. It can turn into something much bigger than that. So naturally I look towards momentum. What boosted us to get the volatile move. I look for us to come back into situations like that. So this was it right here. This line is pushing up through here. I mean, there's something in here. There is something in here. It's not my leaning factor, but you do have some support through here if it does start to drop down further. I tend to go with where candle closes take place at and not candle wicks, but that could be the case. I'm still going to be looking in here. If it gets into here, then I'll entertain a new long. I'm not interested in this bottom right here whatsoever, none whatsoever. I'm more interested in. I mean, we're going to change market structure through here anyway, but I would, this could be end up being a head and shoulder formation. We can drop down into here, get a bounce back up, and then have a head and shoulder formation in here, or I can do it from right there. And I'm definitely not going to be interested in it then. I'm just simply going to sit around here and wait for price action to come down into this level right here. But from here, at this point, I'm not interested in 786. I'm not interested right in here. I will take it from here and I will look to see if I can't get a ride back up for another shoulder and then a continued break to the downside if that's going to be the case. Because it is outside of the channel, that would be the measured move. Like I said, it's going to be all the way down here. So I don't think that it just completely just keeps falling down through here and does that. That doesn't look like that's going to be the case. I'm gonna make sure I'm not stopped out of Bitcoin already. Okay, we're still holding up. Just wanted to make sure on that. So that's where I stand with Microsoft. I just wanted to give you the update because I know we talked about it here on the channel, posted on it, and I changed the measured move to just getting into this gap right here and saying I hope that we could get there, but it doesn't really look likely that that's going to happen, and we could be seeing a further drop here on Microsoft. So holding out. You can do what you want to do if you're interested in trying to take it from the 786, and it just might work out. It just might work out. I have no idea. I just know that I have a place that I'm interested in getting in at, and either it gets there or it doesn't. There's a lot more stocks that I can trade. It doesn't have to be Microsoft, so it's not going to be end of the day if it bounces from here. Okay, just be like, okay, moving on. Let me find the next thing for me to consider because I don't like it. All right, so we're just still being bunging around here in this triangle formation right now. Again, this is a bearish formation as it is following a drop to the downside, but I don't see a reason personally to want to attempt another short position from right here. I just don't see it. So I'm entertaining the idea of us getting a break out of here to the upside and possibly getting into that golden pocket. Again, it's very low risk. I wouldn't put a lot on this setup right here. I would keep it very minimal. If for some reason it turns out to be a good bet, then it'll come back and put in a higher low. I don't need to. I can win small right here if it works. I'm going to win small if it works, and I'm going to lose small if it doesn't. That's my point right now, because there's no reason to get super bullish for any reason to put a whole bunch of money in trying to catch a bottom. No. Keep it small, win small, lose small. Hopefully we'll win small. I don't care, how small it is. Hopefully it'll be a win. But if it's a loss, it's a small loss. That's all I'm saying. Worry about adding when we change market structure. If we can change market structure, then we can talk about adding some money to it. But right now, I just wouldn't do a lot with it. I would not do a lot with this at all because it's Bitcoin is just, I mean, there's not a lot of volume behind the move. So that's something that I'm trying to pay attention to. The volume is not it's not spiking. We're dropping, but the volume is not spiking. So, I don't know if I really paid attention to it here on the 15-minute time frame, but I know from the 1 hour, like we're not seeing spikes in volume or anything like that. Like not even with this pattern breakdown. Well, actually, it wasn't even really a pattern through here. Just um, it's not any strong volume. You got a few moments in here where it picks up a little bit, but nothing like anything right here or anything right there. And we have a lot of room for volatility here on the 1 hour. A lot of room for volatility on this 1 hour. Mm. And volume is a late response anyway. It really is. It's a late response. It's better to just read the chart. um, Solana's holding on that 76. Speaking of which, I mean, yeah, there's really nothing for me to cover with Solana and ETH. It's the same. Nothing has really changed on there. Ethereum 1820. I didn't realize Ethereum had dropped below 19 already. I know I have to reset my computer, so I really don't know how long I'm gonna last today because it keeps resetting my charts. Keeps resetting my charts. Every time I click off of something and come back, it just keeps resetting my chart. So I mean, in here with Ethereum, like I mean, it's not really going to be any different from Bitcoin, and I don't really have any strong new updates on it. Like we're still within this area right here that we've been moving around in. Um, and that's 2066 1794 is what that is. Let's just say we drop. Bitcoin is getting more of that breakdown. We talked about the VWAP, so you know where VWAP is sitting at and how I actually drew that VWAP for Ethereum. But this next zone right here is 1623 to 1445 right here for Ethereum. um, that's this next zone right here. But like I said, um, the VWAP situation, if it lets me, I just have to wait for it to stop. Stop stalling, please, 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 please. All right. So the VWAP situation, and I told you I had closed out my Ethereum position. I only had like a 2x on it, and it was like not even worth it. It wasn't even worth it. Just got to a point where it was like, you know what? Nah, I'll pass. So I just closed it. I just closed that out. Um, While my PC is okay, there it is. Just giving me such a hard time. So VWAP 1523 right now. That's the VWAP. So once this area right here is gone, the next likely place for Ethereum to come to is going to be VWAP because that's where it dropped to every other time. So we can just use that, statistically or in the past, historically, this is what it did. So once this is gone, then I look down towards VWAP. Maybe maybe you want to try somewhere here around VWAP, something like that. But it's already broken below the well, yeah, I think it has anyway. I didn't really check this one to see if it did or did I yesterday. I don't know if I did or didn't with this right here. What I do know is that something that I said to you is that, Ethereum always had like a break of structure. It always had a break of structure, and there wasn't one to be had through here. There's nothing over here. There's nothing here. So the only break of structure it can get is going to have to come from this. And then what does that mean? That means Ethereum is crapping the bed. It's going to crap the bed if that happens. Like I said, you had a place right here where you could break structure. It was right here with that double. You had one right here where you could break structure, and it did. You had one over here where it could break structure, and it did. And the only place it has to break structure in here is this one. It's right here at this low. So takes out that low break structure, then maybe we see it turn around. But it always had a place where it broke structure and it rolled over significantly from that point. And let's see, from here, from where it broke, it dropped down another 59%. From here, where it broke, it dropped down 34% more. From here, where it broke down, let's see what that low was right here. It dropped, dang near 80%. I'm sorry, 78%. So 77.92% off of that break. I'm telling you, like everything, and I say this again, like the smaller caps like completely demolish their supposedly bear market low. From what I used to kind of figure it out, they completely demolished it. Even Solana has completely demolished it, and we can be looking at a $40 to $30, soul. I might be giving it some grace by saying $30. Could be 20 something bucks, but I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna stick with what I've been saying between around $40 to $30 for soul, because it's completely demolished its supposed bear market low. So I don't have a reason to think differently for Bitcoin and Ethereum. The lower caps could be showing what's going to happen with Bitcoin and Ethereum. So if we're going to see that, and we can just look at, let's just say 34. We don't even have to do, any of these other ridiculous lows over here. Let's just say it does lose this, and let's just say it does 34. Okay, so we're looking at Ethereum being under $1,000. I'm not gonna lie, I'm about to crap out of I'm about to crap out of Ethereum down below that. I like to get it even lower. Let's just say, like, not that I think. Let's just say it did 59. For kicks and giggles, I'll stop at the 58. That's like a $574 Ethereum. Crypto is dead. It'll be dead. Crypto's dead. That's all I would say about it. I'd say it's dead if that happened. But that's the only place we have to break structure at. Maybe it does something different this time. I don't know. I just know that it had it. If it. I mean, I didn't see anything else hold up through here. Hype did. Hype did, but I don't know. Everything else is just. Let me just check on Bitcoin again while I'm running my mouth, because we can be over here nuking. I want to make sure we're not. Okay, so we're still holding inside of that triangle right now. I just want to make sure on that. So I mean, I mean, look at ADA. Look at ADA. I don't think I can do ADA from this time frame right here. I think I have to do ADA from this time frame right here, and then put this on a. I'll put this on a weekly. Mm, 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 mm. Oh, this was me trying to help Ada right here. Uh, I mean, right now, yeah, we had to add. No, I still didn't add the additional weekly levels in here on Ada. I just know that I'll be looking down here towards the 17 if Ada does start to lose this last little range in here of this 26, which it is trying to hold on to right now. That's all I know. Like, there's no resolution through here just yet. Something could come into play, but I just don't see it right now for Ada. And take away indicators for sure. And like I said, I think that that might have even have changed in here for Ada. Ada looks like it's just trading within standard deviation 1 and 2. Like, it's not. I mean, you want to see it at least get a break back above standard one. Like, you want to at least see that. And Ada doesn't seem to have that. Let me just take that away. Work with something that we can all work with, which is going to be Bollinger Band. We can all, it's free indicator. We can all work with Bollinger Band. Right now, Ada is just, it's still moving in between this situation right here, up here, down here. It's just still gliding in between this. Like, you're not even getting a closure outside of this line right here. No closure. No closure out of this. It's just still trading within these two areas right here. Right now, this low down here reads 1632. Like, volatile, based on that, like, it can be down here. Like, it's not tightening. It's not trying to stop price action. There's nothing happening here. No sort of compression or anything like that. It's saying, hey, I can move through all of this. I can do this. Somebody could be waiting to dump me, and I can drop down to 1632 without an expansion. I can push back up to about 66 right now without an expansion. Like, it can do either one of these things right here, but there's no pause, no compression. Like there's some sort of battle taking place for price action. We're not getting this right here. And when I'm saying compression, like, these are not getting tighter. They're just hanging around. But you want to at least see a closure above 28.79 right now on a weekly basis, and Ada's not even getting that. Like, once I can see Ada start to close above this 28.78 or whatever, you can say 29 cents. Whenever I can see Ada close above that, then I'll have a different take on Ada. Right now, I don't see Ada getting outside of here and getting the closure above that. So it can just continue to do that. Come back and then we can talk about it. Yeah. But I wouldn't be interested in it. I mean, I don't see a reason to wanna. Everything doesn't come back. Everything does not come back. It just doesn't. It doesn't come back. You want to see it slowing down, like, and it's not doing that. So check back on Bitcoin. All right. Let's see what okay. Rejection. Like, you can trap this inside of a parallel. It looks like you can. Um, Something like that. On a monthly, let's see what it looks like on a monthly. Yeah, just open mouth. As long as you have an open mouth, like, it can. Like, this is the first time that Ada's drifted this far away from that one standard one. It's the first time it drifted that far away. Can't you see that? It's the first time it did that. It's never done that before. If I take this one away, let's take that one away. Um, it always stayed there, always stayed around there. This time, it just completely just ran through it. It stayed right here. It's drifting. Like this is I don't like that. I would not be the one to want to be buying. Like you can take the risk, and I hope it works out for you if you are somebody who's buying it. I really hope it works out for you because the one of the hardest thing for us to do is to buy the fear. Like we buy the excitement, the euphoric stages and price action, but nobody's really taking the risk on buying the fear. Um, and you have to really believe in it to want to do that. So if you have a strong belief in it, then that makes a difference. But it's never done that before, where it just like deviated away from that lower bound, and it strongly deviated away from it, and that's not good. That's why I was looking forward to hold through here, like at least hold through here, because this worked every other time. This was the point where even if it dropped below that one, even if it dropped below one, it held, and it did not hold. Even when we got this capitulation drop right here, it reclaimed back up real quick. But yeah, now it's so far removed from it. Maybe it comes into two, and then you take some risk right there. Suspended in the air like this, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's an let's see, that's that low right there, huh? Let's see. I can get rid of this right here now. That little thing right there. So that's that low right now. Hmm. That's 14 down here. It's 14. And I'm gonna put it on the body. So it dropped into that. I'm gonna put that on the body, and I'm just gonna turn that back on. I'm gonna see where that two is sitting at. So if I was somebody who was looking, yeah, if I was somebody looking, maybe I would try it right there off of that body. Otherwise, once it starts to show a little bit of strength through here, because you're not gonna have anything to break through here either. Like, I mean, mm, maybe it just runs. I don't know. Maybe it does. But that I don't like. Net low was what, 2205? That's 22. So it did save face by not taking out this low, and it didn't take out that low, 2205, and that's 22. So it didn't take it out. And that's the first lower low though. On the monthly time frame, that's the first lower low because it closed below here. Oh, actually, it hasn't. It still has the month left to do that. Anyway, yeah, that just doesn't look good. Um, I don't have any ADA. Yeah, hype was one that actually did hold up off of it. Um, but hype is not going to be an exception if Bitcoin absolutely loses it. Hype is going to lose it too. There's no reason to think that hype won't. Just because hype, performed okay for a little bit doesn't mean it doesn't. Okay, it just got another bounce off of that. Just got another bounce off of our zone right there. Um, I know I was entertaining the idea of another. I don't know if it dropped through that or what happened. Where is it's probably in the second pane, but it was another attempt at a long in here on hyperliquid. Okay, so it lost this right here. It's it's in the middle of an expansion right now in terms to the daily time frame, you can see how it expanded down to that. So it's not aggressive because this is pointing to the downside. So it's not aggressive. That's the good thing. It's not aggressive on this move right here. Um, you got a small discrepancy right there where that green is showing up instead of it being red. Trend regression through here. This could be a falling wedge or something like that. Something descending right here, though. I wouldn't even focus on that one now. Get above this 30. So I want to get above that. And not going to get too far. It doesn't look like. Could be a lower high at that point. But I can see the price action is getting trapped through here. If you're going to risk it for the biscuit right here, you're not too far off from wanting to take that risk, assuming that it's probably going to get up here to about 30, something like that. So a $4 move, something like that. Otherwise, I'd be prepared for it to lose that. And, maybe it comes back down here towards the bottom side of the line in here. It definitely looks like something that would break to the upside, but that it wouldn't go a huge distance. It wouldn't go a huge distance. I really don't like. Yeah, I mean it's not expanding, so it might be a good move to take here on hype. Let me see where that long was at because it probably got stopped out. I know we were entertaining the idea of I know we did one long in here, and that one actually did work out. And then there was okay, so it looks like I did look at some stuff in here. Oh yeah, we've already fallen through that. We've already fallen through. Oh, didn't mean to move that. Yeah, we already broken through that. This was the first long that we looked at right here, and as it started to reject, I was like, because I know it was rejecting this channel right here. It was rejecting the top side of the channel, so I was looking for a new entry along in here, and it's already broken down through that. So that did not work out, and it's already confronting the channel again. At least it did manage to break out of it for a short period of time. But yeah, that didn't work. It didn't work that time. And whatever you got out of here, you got it. And then that was it. So unfortunately, I didn't realize that hype had, rolled over this much before looking at it now. So yeah, I mean, it's double bottom down here. Mm. Let me see what it looks like right here. Yeah, you're not even getting above. Yeah. Nah. From here, it looks a lot more favorable. This is a daily time frame. It looks a lot more favorable from here. How's our Bitcoin doing? Let me just check on that real quick before I see how we're doing with our Bitcoin move. Okay, we're back at the top side of our little wedgie structure right now. We're holding up. Just want to see if we're gonna get some follow through before market opens. We don't really have a lot of data coming, so yeah, I mean, it looks more favorable on this daily time frame. I mean, I would take the risk on it. I wouldn't do it using leverage. Let me just be clear about that. I wouldn't do it using leverage. I would do it non-leverage. I would, buy a little bit, and then that way, if it's not working, it's not working. You're cutting it, and you're not taking these huge losses. You're not taking these huge losses, but it looks more favorable from this daily time frame to want to take hype than it does from that lower time frame. I'm looking at Zcash, Sui. Let me see what was happening with Sui. Sui looks a lot like Bitcoin right now in this moment. Like we got this squeeze right here. So we are compressing. Like we're trying to stall out right here. We're trying to hold out right here. It probably even has like a bullish, screaming for a bullish pump through here. And it is. It's screaming. It's screaming like right here that this is where I look for it to break to the upside. I just do. We haven't got the follow through. So we could see one additional drop. Could see one additional drop on Sui from here and then a go. Because it doesn't tell you how much you're gonna pump when you get something like this. Um, but this tends to break to the upside. It does like 80 out of 100 times it breaks up. I'm not compelled to want to do it right now. I would probably wait for it to get up here. I mean, I'm holding it spot. So it's not my biggest concern. So I'm holding this spot. I mean, just like over here, like it doesn't tell you like how much, and it has to be all the way up under that dash line right there. Like I have to see it all the way under the dash line. I mean, the bands, everything is down below this dash line. That's where you tend to see it do something like that. Now it don't tell you how much, never tells you how much, but when all of those bands, everything is underneath the blue line like that. And that's what I'm looking for it to do, to go up. But it all has to be underneath. That's not beneath. This is above. When everything is above, I look for it to fall. And that's what you got. You got the great fall. That's how it works for me. Everything is below it. I'm looking for it to do some sort of a move to the upside. Everything is below it. I'm looking for some sort of move to the upside. Like how much it gives, that's a different story. But as long as it looks like this, I have I have a mindset because I know firsthand how often this actually plays out. I can tell you 90 out of 100. Most of the time, it does exactly that. You're going to be looking for a move to the upside. So I'll be looking for a move to the upside, whether you buy it spot. I wouldn't want to leverage it, but if you were buying this spot, if you were accumulating this spot while everything is down below here, I don't see a reason why it doesn't go up now. If it's one that you believe in, you're gonna get some sort of a move to the upside. That's all I'm saying. It's more something. I'm gonna end up getting crapped on with this thing right here. Oh my gosh. Pump. Oh boy. I'm surprised I'm not even stopped out just yet. Like yeah, I don't this is chain link. Chain link with the tight squeeze in here too. I mean, Bitcoin looks just like this too on the daily time frame, where I'm expecting that move up. It's just not coming through. It's just not happening. Can't force it. Nice little channel in here, just like Bitcoin has. I think it pops up. I think it pops up. Chain link barely holding on to bear market lows in here. Let me take this away for a minute. The chain link, you can see like we lost it one time before already back here, but very slightly did we lose it. But it is, I mean, it's back hanging around in here. That's supposed to be bear market lows in here, but like I said, if it could insinuate that other things do the same thing. This was our last momentum line through here too. I think I mentioned that. That's the last momentum line we have in here for chain link. We got no more. No more. There are no more. So if it loses that, then that's it. That was the last one. We got this little small petty bounce off of it, and that was it. We have to start looking at the horizontal. So I mean, we could see a $7 chain link, which it spared, or $5 and some chain link, which I said I wasn't gonna buy anymore at that point, but I'll probably buy. I'll probably buy. I believe in it. Like I said, if it's something you believe in, then you might get something out of it. If it's something that you don't believe in, then don't even don't bother. Don't bother. And if it's something that just hasn't been performing well throughout the past few years, I just don't see a reason why you should have it in your portfolio, period. But it's not financial advice. That's all I'm saying. H bar. I looked at this one. Mhm. Doesn't look favorable. It doesn't. It doesn't look. It doesn't look favorable at all. At least with the other ones, I had something to work with. Like I said, if it's all underneath here, you're gonna get some sort of a bounce. It doesn't tell you, doesn't indicate how much of a move you're gonna get. But usually, like I said, if it's everything is underneath here, it gives me a direction. It gives me a direction in terms of Bollinger Bands. That's the direction. And yes, you can see direction of Bollinger Bands. I don't care what the creator says, anybody else says. Yes, you can tell what direction Bollinger Bands are going to go with. You don't have to use this indicator to do that. Like you can tell from the Bollinger Bands itself. Just have to practice it enough to figure everything out. But you can't actually tell what direction you're going to go with. I don't know if it tried to expand right here or what happened. It tried to do something through here. It wasn't an actual squeeze on the Bollinger Band, so it's not that. But you can tell. I like when I see a squeeze on Bollinger and squeeze down here both at the same time, but you don't have that in this case. But it went up. That was that. It went up, and it doesn't look favorable at all though. This entire T through here, it doesn't look favorable. Uh, yeah. Bear diffs. Bear divs. That's it. If it tries to come up again, it's going to put in the bear div. Even if it comes back, yeah, it's going to put in the bear div. If it tries to come up again without getting a strong move up, because it's been crawling. Every move has been a crawl. Every move has been a crawl. Like see the bear div through here. Did not put in the bear div right here, but if it attempted to turn up right now, if it didn't get one of these candles right, if it doesn't get one of these candles right here, then you're just going to put in another bear div. And you just be looking to short. Like nothing looks favorable on that daily, weekly time frame. A weekly looks a lot better. If I had hope, it's the weekly. Let me just hide this part right here. If I had and I hold it spot, I'm not adding to it though. I'm not doing that. Look at that explosion. It went sideways forever over here, but everything lined up and you got one right there at the front. So it went sideways forever in here before it finally did that one right there. It can go sideways forever in here. Like this might be worth accumulating right here, you know, from where it is. And I would be very stingy with how much I buy. Kid you not, I'd be very stingy with how much I buy. This was the beginning stage over here. So you don't really get it through here, but nice breakout right there. Yeah, I mean it can take forever. Weekly looks a lot better than daily time frame or any other stuff. So I don't mind this right here, but it can go down forever and then not just go down, it can go sideways forever before it finally decides it wants to do something. So really the closer the RSI gets towards the center line, the closer it gets towards the mean, that looks like it's the thing like Hedera, H bar. isn't going to get a strong push up until it gets closer towards the mean. And even then, you have to question whether or not it's going to get an explosive move. But from where it's sitting right now, if it did tilt up, I'd be more in favor of it getting a pop to the upside. You can see you break the mean right there, you do okay. You break the mean right here, you did okay. You broke the mean right here, you got that move right there. You came up off the mean right here, you got that nice move to the upside. Another mean reversion trade right there. The closer it looks towards it needs to turn up, number one, and it needs to start sitting closer towards this mean right here for me to even start feeling hopium about Hedera. But that's the only piece of hopium I see right now. The rest of it is going to come from seeing something like that and seeing the RSI wanting to turn up into the mean. And then from there, I'll be looking forward to break out. And until that happens, I probably just sit on. I mean, what I have, I'm just gonna hold. I look to take a trade with some leverage if I saw that though, even if it's later on. Like it doesn't mean that price action deviates far away before you even see that. Like you can see, like it didn't take much for you to even get there. It was off of this candle right here was the one right here, and then you got all of that move right there. So yeah, close towards the mean, I'm interested. Further away from the mean, I'm not interested. And that's just how I feel. Unless this thing gets really, really oversold. Actually, in real weakness, more weakness. What is this? It might have to do that. It might have to like RSI return somewhere down here towards 26. Yeah, it's not weak enough. Actually, I guess I'll keep that alarm on here. Let me set it like that though. I don't know what this is about. Must have been a breakdown. But we're all here about Bitcoin, right? Let's see how we're doing with Bitcoin. All right, so we got a break outside of our little triangle for our long attempt here on Bitcoin. I mean, if it pushes up a bit more in here, then you can get excited about a short again. And again, this is this is a low probability trade given the environment, but I don't see a reason to want to short from here. We have to get some sort of a bounce first to entertain the idea of another short. You don't have to take risk on this long setup. You can just simply wait to see if we get another short setup. And if you want to be more conservative, I'll wait for a close above 63,551.58. Whatever chart you're using, you're just looking at the pivot from the top side of this pattern formation right here, and you're looking for a closure. Not, you got to let the candle close. Let's just start there. You have to let the candle close. What happens from there? You got the closure. I don't care if the candle pops out of here and it closes at this point. You still have to let the candle close. If you want to be more conservative, then that'll be your move. For me, I want to be closer towards the low, which is why I took it from in here to be closer towards the low. So if I get invalidated, then I'm just instantly out of the trade. because it is a risky setup. It's risky to want to long Bitcoin right now. But we're where we talked about being at for USDT dominance. And so I'm just using that to help me make my decision for the Bitcoin setup. I'm just using that in this case. I can't get anything to work properly. See if I can't. Okay. I see gold reacting a little bit more as Bitcoin is really squeezing on this 15-minute time frame. So again, if you are taking the risk in here, please bear in mind, like we can see the squeeze on the Bollinger, but you can also see the narrowing in here at this level, at this zone right here. This is all this is. This doesn't tell us whether or not it's going to break to the upside or the downside. Since the pattern formation did form at the low, typically it is a bearish formation, but it doesn't mean that it always has to break to the downside. We really don't have any volume through here. That's number one. We're around some sort of a support zone in here right now where we're holding up, which is why we're going a little bit sideways and compressing in here. It will break out in whatever direction it wants to break out in. Right now, I'm choosing to take a long attempt on it. And again, it is a risky attempt right here for Bitcoin, but that is what it is. I'm not sitting here trying to call the direction of the breakout of this triangle formation. This just simply means that price is trapped right now in here. That's all it means. Price is trapped right now between support and resistance. And whenever price action gets trapped between support and resistance, it creates a pattern. And this is the pattern that it has created right now. It's this little triangle. The only strategy we have in this moment is risk management. Looks like I need to bring that up a little bit. I might have been off slightly on that, so let me make sure because I was off a little bit. All right, so we were just hammering the top again. I apologize. I was off a little bit. I always try to go back and check my line. I always try to make sure my lines are pretty much correct. I hate to freestyle my trend lines for the most part because I know they can be off, and then you draw it wrong, you're automatically wrong. You draw it wrong, and you're instantly wrong already. That's why everybody who draws trend lines do not draw them equal. Another way of doing that is just slapping on a Bollinger Band. Like, is outside of that Bollinger. Turn this on, you can see this is basically it. So people who some people, and I'm gonna have a rant right now. I'm just gonna have one just to have one. People be like, everybody's drawing their little triangles. What does that mean? It means nothing. It just shows you where price is compressing. So why not? It shows you where price action is compressing. That's what a triangle shows you. Like, you really want to be sure about it, you put on a Bollinger Band. Price action is compressing here. You can see that it's compressing right here. So when we do break into a direction, if you're not, we have a probability that this is a bearish. We have a probability through here. That's basically it. But yeah, it shows us that price action is compressing right through here. We're hitting support, we're hitting resistance, we're not going anywhere. We're compressing. If I'm following the trend, I want to draw this out. If I'm not using anything else, I want to draw it out because I want to see where we're compressing at and where we could probably lose that at. That's it. And if you're wrong, be wrong fast. Choose a side. And if you're wrong, be wrong fast. All right, I got about 20 more minutes left on this stream before I go. I'm going to have to reset my computer and do all of that good stuff because it is lagging. It is really, really, really lagging behind today. So I gave you like what would be like a measured move for a break to the downside on something like this. It would put us closer to taking out that low, which was about what, $60,000. It would be closer to putting us towards that low down there. Again, daily time frame, we are outside of standard deviation 2, which means we're at risk of an expansion on the daily time frame. Expansion breaking to the downside. That's why I said manage your risk. If you do make this attempt in here, please do manage your risk. So you, again, if you're wrong fast. My stop is right here. So if it stops me out, I'm out. I'm not looking to get back inside of it. If it stops me out, I'm out because I understand the risk in here. But we did get a short from here. We got a short yesterday from here. Still holding that short. This, you will end up moving. If this breaks down, takes out this low, you'll move your closing point from this 63,551.58 to the top side of this one right here. You would move it. And you just have to follow along with that. But whatever you do, if you do decide at some point you do want to make another long attempt, you want to see a closure above. And you just have to reset where this goes. Right now it belongs here. This breaks down, takes out this low. It's going to belong here. And I showed you what that looks like on the 1 hour time frame. So you can see this through here right now. And you can set it all the way to the low to keep it real. Some people will do it like this right here, try to catch a few more of the wicks through here. But at some point when price starts to drop, then you can consider moving it just for clarity. I don't care about starting out like this. You can do it like that for starters. I always suggest catching that wick unless it's something unclear and then you're doing bodies, but I always suggest catching the lowest wick. Now I can see from the indicator on the 15-minute time frame, some sort of a break just happened. It's not reflecting here, but a break did happen in that indicator. And this could be about to accelerate to the downside from what I can see on this chart. It hasn't followed through yet. Again, we're here. We know we have the squeeze on the Bollinger. I'm looking at the other indicator as well. Momentum was broken to the downside. And then QTD is just kind of lingering right here, waiting for that move. And when it happens, it will happen fast. So, like I said, you want to be wrong fast. So, make sure that your stop is in place for that move if you decide to do this. Now, it doesn't look like it would. It's going to be a fast move. It's going to fire off a second signal, though. There it is. There it is. I'm just waiting for it to stop me out. See? Mm. See, let's see, let's see. Mm. Let me see if I can get to what our news is today. Um, Not gonna try to do it from policy update. Um, Today is Tuesday. Again, we don't really have anything for today. I mean, we have President Trump speaking. I saw somebody ask about that in chat, and the Corn King responded on that. I do recommend if you go to Forex Factory, and you'll see where that speech is supposed to take place in your time zone, and you can just click on it, and it'll give you more information on what he's expected to talk about. We're breaking down. The indicators moved a lot faster than price action in the situation right now. So I'm just waiting to see if price action is going to do that. And if it does, like I said, I'm stopped. If that happens, I'm set for it. We're outside of standard deviation 2 on the Bollinger Band. So everything else is showing that we've broken down. We're just not seeing it from this pattern formation, which is fine. Just fine. Everything else suggests that we did see a move down. Either the indicators are wrong and price action is going to hold here and we're going to bounce, or the indicators are correct and we're just stalling out for that breakdown because there is no data that we're waiting on for this decision to happen. And again, front run on the 786 for anybody who's looking to get in on the 786. A front run on the 786 is what I mentioned to you. That's why I said yesterday, hey, drop this line in here just in case we do a front run on that 786 and you have something else to go off of. Because all we need is to feel comfortable about getting into a trade, right? So adding that trend line there at the low gives us a little bit of comfort on the move to the downside, that, something else that we can look at that could give us some sort of confluence down here around the low. At the end of the day, whatever happens in here, if we're coming down here and we're taking out this level right here, I mean, let's see. We shall see what happens through here. I should have used a parallel on this instead. I mean, you have the larger parallel channel. Also, don't forget that. But that that could indicate something else for yeah, we're expanding. We're expanding. So the indicators were correct in showing us the move. Uh, and the measured move, like I said, is down below 60. It's down below 60. This is the range low right here. Wherever this low is right here for you, this is what we're doing. Could just be a sweep of that low and a reclaim back inside of that too. So something else that you can look for in here. Because this is going to be the range, and it'll be a sweep of that low and a move back inside of it. Otherwise, let's see. I'm going to use space instead. Turn my 2 on. Turn my 2 on. So could just be that. Could just sweep this right here into the 786 that we front ran. And then I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to give it a shot in here. Right in here, you have some people making an attempt. Yeah. I just don't favor doing the short from here. That's all. Let me just go ahead and say thank you for joining me today. I am Down to Crypto TA. You can follow me on X at Down to Crypto TA, where I will post updates. I try to keep it simple. I don't always do the fishing for you. I teach you how to fish. I give you little subtle, cues on what can happen because the longer it takes for me to fish for you, you'll miss the move. That's all I'm saying. You'll miss it if I'm having to sit there and do the fishing for you. Trying to get gold. A little back at gold. So down to crypto TA on X. Also follow the Coin King there at DACOINKING. The Coin King spelled with the D and an A at the beginning there. So if I don't say it here, then you'll get it from me on X. You'll get it from me on X. I'm also on CoinMarketCap, and I haven't really been posting anything over there here lately. The market has just been, it's been not the best. And then I'm looking at a lot of stocks as well, and then there's nothing on CoinMarketCap for me to post over there to give you, updates on the stock market, which is something that I've always looked at. So it's nothing new to me. I'm always talking about stocks as well. It's crypto, even though my name is down to crypto TA because stock market, I mean, crypto just moves a lot faster. So, and it's actually where I started in the market with crypto and quickly got into stocks right behind that. So it's been a couple of years here now. Um, and I covered Microsoft. You also have the VIX. I gave um, some zones to look at on the VIX as it's moving. I did not take a look at SPY today. Uh, my computer is just so laggy. Maybe I could come back. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say that I'm going to come back and then cover the stock market with you. I do have to get my computer reset though. I've covered with you what I'm looking at here on Bitcoin, and like I said, this is a risky play, and it's showing that it's going to break to the downside at this point. It hasn't really accelerated that move down just yet. I'm not recommending that anybody takes a short from this point right here. If it gets a pump up, then sure, short. But right from here, I don't, this isn't where I would be taking a short from down here. So that's why I'm not recommending it right here. Even though it has the potential to drop down and to take out the prior low, it's just not a place right here. We took the short together in here yesterday, and so still holding that short anyway. If it looked good enough for me to want to take another one, that is what I'd be sitting here talking about. But I've said like you can take this attempt, be wrong fast. So stop loss should be in place. You should not be putting a lot of money on this. It should be very, very, very small, minimal, win small, lose small. That's the goal here. If it gives something, then you'll win small. But if it doesn't, you'll lose small. That's it. The only thing we have in this situation is risk management. That's it. And the problem is the consistent bear divs. Consistent bear divs. That's another thing too. Like the consistent bear divs, so like right through here, bear div. At some point, you'd be looking for the bear deal to be invalidated, but it is consistently putting in the bear deal. So this triangle right here, again, which is typically bearish because it is from it does follow up behind a move to the downside. And then when you're looking right across this top side of this triangle formation right here, is putting in bear deals. This would get moved to here, and this is taking out that low. This would get moved right here, and then you'd be looking for a closure above here now instead of a closure above there. So this comes down, takes out this right here. At that point, you're going to be looking for a closure above here if you want to be more conservative, as opposed to staying closer to the low if you were making an attempt in here. 786 is about to come into play, which is taking out this low down here. This is a range play in here as well. Typically with a range play, I'll look for at least a 1-to-1 on the range play. So on a range play, I'll be looking for it to come back down here towards the low of this. Like momentum sucks that dang on bad, then it'll come back down here, in my opinion. If momentum sucks that bad, that's why I would think it would come to. Time will tell. I'm not going to be too quick to jump into it again. You know, just wait. Just wait. It's already extended on this 15-minute time frame. It's already showing that it's overextended on this 15-minute time frame with that small move right there. And it's probably because of the expansion that's about to happen, but it's already showing that it's extended. All right. I think I've covered everything pretty much through here. In terms of what I'm looking for, the play is sparing us at the moment. Again, it does show that it's overextended already with that little small move right there on the price action so far, which is why we're seeing a little bit of a reaction right here, and not taking out that low just yet. So, like I said, I honestly, I have no desire on the short from down here. Even if it drops lower, just maintain the short from yesterday. It has to get a push up for me to want to entertain a new short position. And it could happen, or it could start to invalidate the bear divs through here and actually get a pop to the upside, which is what I'm hoping for. no guarantee on it. It's just what I'm hoping for. Volume is still really skimpy. Market hasn't opened yet. Got to wait on that to take place too. Um, but some sort of resolution could be coming into play. It's it is what it is. It is not it's not pretty. It is what it is. I've shared with you what I'm looking for down through here though. Um, I advise, looking at that 786 retracement, looking for the liquidity here for a possible SFP of this level right here, which will be a breakdown into that 786 SFP and reclaim through here. You can look for something like that, or you can just sit on your hands and you can wait for actual closure to take place. That shows a change of market structure, at least on the 15-minute time frame, for a little bit more of a move to the upside, and then start to look at another short if we're really that bearish, by way of that daily time frame. If we're really just that bearish right now, then it'll do that. Um, with that said, I guess I'm gonna depart. But yeah, you can draw out this channel right here, this one through here, this 1-to-1 through here, you know, looking for national. Let me just hang on for this thing to stop us out and then go on about its business. I just wish whatever it's gonna do, it just does it a lot faster. Because this hesitation is annoying. And if you don't know where your 786 is at, there it is. Which it can choose to absolutely annihilate that 786 if it wants to. Um, come on screen. But that's where your 786 is at. It's right here. I have a 786 pocket through here. Trend line down through here. Doesn't mean that it's actually a parallel channel, but just thinking ahead of time, just trying to find something, a narrative to price action. have a plan. Sometimes you have to rework the plan, but I have a plan. So just sharing that plan with you. But the suspense is crazy. The suspense is absolutely crazy. Mm-mm-mm. But this is drawn from the low, that wick low, to that top right there. And then, of course, you're going to have your larger fit retracement. Yeah, you got the picture. So I'm going to leave it at that. I love you. I appreciate you. And I see you on the flip side. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be careful with whatever you're doing. Just be careful. Get a pump to the upside. Do not try to short the low. Do not try to short the low. Just don't do it. I don't see a good reason to want to short at the lows. At least get a move back up and then take your attempt from there. Yeah, get some sort of a bounce out of this, and then if you still want to pursue it, take it from there. It's not financial advice. I'm just saying, um, it seems a little bit more responsible in my opinion. But what I mean, the best thing you can do is manage your risk in all cases in this situation. It's basically just managing your risk. So whatever you choose to do, just manage your risk. Um, know where you should add size and where you shouldn't. So if you were taking a short from within here, I wouldn't add size onto that short. I wouldn't. If you get a pump up, if you got a pump up, let's say something like this right here into here, you can add size on something like that. But I don't see a reason to want to have size for a short from down here. I just don't see it. I don't see a reason to want to have size for a long right in here, given the environment. Which is why I'm saying if it plays out, it'll be a small win and it'll be a small loss if it doesn't. Because the only thing we have to go on right now is risk management, period, point blank. And you'll know if it failed because we're sitting here watching the stream, and by grace, we're still hanging on. That's all I know. By grace, we're still hanging on and not taking out that little low right there. Means I might need to push this back up to here to just be clear. I wouldn't look to this line right here anymore. I put it back over here because the idea of looking at this one is if price comes down and takes out that low. That's the idea there. Maybe a God candle will come out of here and just send price action up or something like that into that golden pocket, something like that. Otherwise, I'm gonna sit on my hands and just wait if it doesn't play before I decide on taking another attempt in here. And I gave you what I'd be looking for if I were to take another attempt. And again, I would keep it small because of the environment. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and refresh everything so I can take a successful, another, attempt successfully without my computer doing, doing this crazy stuff. And enjoy the rest of your day.